Strategic management can be defined as the art of science of formulating, implementing, and evaluating cross-functional decisions that enable an organization to achieve its objective. The study of strategic management integrates different topics such as marketing, management, finance, research, and development. The management and marketing are essential part of a business sector, and they should be integrated to determine a route to success within strategic management. The strategic management process consists of 3 stages: strategy formulation, strategy implementations, and strategy evaluation. Strategic formulation means a strategy formulates to execute the business activities. Strategy formulation includes developing vision and mission statements and identifying strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats within the organization. Strategy formulation is also concerned with setting long-term goals and objectives, generating alternative strategies to achieve the long-term goals, and choosing particular strategies to pursue. The considerations for the best strategy formulation should be as follows: allocation of resources, business to enter or retain, business to divest or liquidate, joint ventures or mergers, whether to expand or not, moving into foreign markets, or trying to avoid takeover. Strategy implementation requires a firm to establish annual objectives, devise policies, motivate employees, and allocate resources so that the formulated strategies can be executed. Strategy implementation includes developing strategy supportive culture, creating an effective organizational structure, redirecting marketing efforts, preparing budgets, developing and utilizing information systems, and linking employee compensation to organizational performance. Strategy implementation is often called the action stage of strategic management. Implementing means mobilizing employees and managers in order to put formulated strategies into action. It is often considered to be the most difficult stage of strategic management. It requires personal discipline, commitment, and sacrifice. Strategies formulated but not implemented serve no useful purpose. And the last and final stage is strategy evaluation. Management desperately needs to know what particular strategies are not working well. Strategy evolution is the primary means for obtaining this information. All strategies are subject to future modification because external and internal forces are constantly changing. Objectives can be defined as specific results that an organization seeks to achieve in pursuing its basic mission. Long-term objectives represent the results expected from pursuing certain strategies. Strategies represent the actions to be taken to accomplish long-term objectives. The time frame for objectives and strategies should be consistent, usually from 2 to 5 years. Objectives are essential for organizational success because they state direction, aid in evaluation, create synergy, reveal priorities, focus coordination, and provide a basis for effective planning, organizing, motivating, and controlling activities. Objectives should be challenging, measurable, consistent, reasonable, and clear. In a multidimensional firm, objectives should be established for the overall company and for each division. Objectives should be quantitative, measurable, realistic, understandable, challenging, hierarchical, obtainable, and congruent among organizational units. Each objective should also be associated with a timeline. Objectives are commonly stated in terms such as growth in assets, growth in sales, profitability, market share, degree and nature of diversification, degree and nature of virtual integration, earnings per share, and social responsibility. Clearly established objectives offer many benefits. They provide direct, allow synergy, aid in evaluation, establish priorities, reduce uncertainty, minimize conflicts, stimulate exertion, and aid in both the allocation of resources and the design of jobs. Long-term objectives are needed at the corporate, divisional, and functional levels in an organization. They are an important measure of managerial performance. Clearly stated and communicated, objectives are vital to success for many reasons. First, objectives help stakeholders understand their role in an organization's future. They also provide a basis for consistent decision-making by managers whose values and attitudes differ. By reaching a consensus on objectives during strategy formulation activities, an organization can minimize potential conflicts later during implementation. Objectives set forth organizational priorities and stimulate exertion and accomplishment. They serve as standards by which individuals, groups, departments, divisions, and entire organizations can be evaluated. Objectives provide the basis for designing jobs and organizing activities to be performed in an organization. They also provide direction and allow for organizational synergy. Without long-term objectives, an organization would drift aimlessly toward an unknown end. It is hard to imagine an organization or individual being successful without clear objectives. Success only really occurs by accident. Rather, it is the result of hard work directed toward achieving certain objectives. Strategies are the means by which long-term objectives will be achieved. Business strategies may include geographic expansion, diversification, acquisition, product development, market penetration, retrenchment, divestiture, liquidation, and joint venture. Strategies are potential actions that require top management decisions and large amounts of the firm's resources. In addition, strategies affect an organization's long-term prosperity, typically for at least 5 years, and thus are very future-oriented. Strategies have multifunctional or multidivisional consequences and require consideration of both external and internal factors facing the firm. Annual objectives are short-term milestones that organizations must achieve to reach long-term objectives. Like long-term objectives, annual objectives should be measurable, quantitative, challenging, realistic, consistent, and prioritized. They should be established at the corporate, divisional, and functional levels in a large organization. Annual objectives should be stated in terms of management, marketing, finance and accounting, product and operations, research and development, and information systems accomplishments. A set of annual objectives is needed for each long-term objective. Annual objectives are especially important in strategy implementation, whereas long-term objectives are particularly important in strategy formulation. Annual objectives represent the basis for allocating resources. Policies are the means by which annual objectives will be achieved. Policies include guidelines, rules, and procedures established to support efforts to achieve stated objectives. Policies are guides to decision-making and address repetitive or recurring situations. Policies are most often stated in terms of management, marketing, finance and accounting, production and operations, research and development, and computer information systems activities. Policies can be established at the corporate level and applied to any entire organization, at the divisional level and applied to a single division, or at the functional level and applied to particular operational activities or departments. Policies, like annual objectives, are especially important in strategy implementation because they outline an organization's expectations of its employees and managers. Policies allow consistency and coordination within and between organizational departments. Some firms do not engage in strategic planning, and some firms do strategic planning but receive no support from managers and employees. Some reasons for poor or no strategic planning are as follows. First, poor reward structures. When an organization assumes success, it often fails to reward success. Where failure occurs, then the firm may punish. In this situation, it is better for an individual to do nothing than risk trying to achieve something, fail, and be punished. 2. Firefighting. An organization can be so deeply embroiled in crisis management and firefighting that it does not have time to plan. 3. Waste of time. Some firms see planning as a waste of time since no marketable product is produced. Time spent on planning is an investment. 4. Too expensive. Some organizations are culturally opposed to spending resources. 5. Laziness. People may not want to put forth the effort needed to formulate a plan. 6. They're content with success. Particularly if a firm is successful, individuals may feel there is no need to plan because things are fine as they stand. But success today does not guarantee success tomorrow. 7. Fear of failure. By not taking action, there is little risk of failure unless a problem is urgent and pressing. Whenever something worthwhile is attempted, there is some risk of failure. 8. Overconfidence. As individuals amass experience, they may rely less on formalized planning. Rarely, however, is this appropriate. Being overconfident or overestimating experience can bring demise. Forethought is really wasted and is often the mark of professionalism. 9. Prior bad experience. People may have had a previous bad experience with planning, where plans have been long, cumbersome, impractical, or inflexible. Planning, like anything, can be done badly. 10. Self-interest. When someone has achieved status, privilege, or self-esteem through effectively using an old system, they often see a new plan as a threat. 11. Fear of the unknown. People may be uncertain of their abilities to learn new skills, their aptitude with new systems, or their ability to take on new roles. 12. Honest difference of opinion. People may sincerely believe the plan is wrong. They may view the situation from a different point, or may have aspirations for themselves or the organization that are different from the plan. Different people in different jobs have different perceptions of a situation. And lastly, suspicion. Employees may not trust management. Strategic planning is an involved, intricate, and complex process that takes an organization into non-chartered territory. It does not provide a ready-to-use prescription for success. Instead, it takes the organization through a journey and offers a framework for addressing questions and solving problems. Being aware of potential pitfalls and prepared to address them is essential to success. Some pitfalls to watch for and avoid in strategic planning are as follows. 1. Using strategic planning to gain control over decisions and resources. 2. Doing strategic planning only to satisfy accreditation or regulatory requirements. 3. Too hastily moving from mission development to strategy formulation. 4. Failing to communicate the plan to employees who continue working in the dark. 5. Top managers making many intuitive decisions that conflict with the formal plan. 6. Top managers not actively supporting the strategic planning process. 7. Failing to use plans as a standard for measuring performance. 8. Delegating planning to a planner rather than involving all managers. 9. Failing to involve key employees in all phases of planning. 10. Failing to create a collaborative climate support of change. 11. Viewing planning to be unnecessary or unimportant. 12. Becoming so engrossed in current problems that insufficient or no planning is done. And lastly, being so formal in planning that flexibility and creativity are stifled.